Well, we've got Brent Beard on the line. We're talking some SEC football. You can join Brent as he is the college football analyst for First Coast News and also the co-host of College Sports Today. So, Brent, you mentioned going to the Florida spring game coming up here in just about 10 days. And your thoughts about the Florida situation. Dan Mullen was able to win at a certain level with much less resources and much less of a recruiting base there at Mississippi State. And now I would think that he is primed to take this program to the heights that we haven't seen for 10 years. It may take a few years, though.
Sure. Well, the thing that first of all, Mullen was here in town on a Monday night speaking to Gator boosters a few weeks ago. And the thing that's different about Mullen is really comfortable in his own skin, and you see that in that he is not reluctant to invite the former players to come back and to be a part of the program. And he wants the fans to be able to see some of the practices. Now, they're not going to give away any trade secrets, obviously, during the spring, but I can appreciate the openness that he's got. There's a lot of excitement, not only here, but up the road with what Willie Taggart's done at Florida State too, and just the openness. Taggart had, and now listen, this is staggering to me. Taggart had, and we'll chase a quick rabbit here, but Taggart had Bobby Bowden on the practice field this week. That's the first time that Bowden had been on the practice field since 2009. That tells you there's been a real disconnect at Florida State for that reason. But getting back to Florida, the main thing that the Gator fans would like to see, besides just winning and consistency, is can they find a quarterback? And right now, the guy that people really have not heard a whole lot about is Kyle Trask. I know you're familiar with that name. He was a 3-star quarterback coming out of Texas. I remember some of the ESPN recruiting analysts telling us when they were looking at Felipe Franks and some of the other quarterbacks that they were, do not sleep on this kid Trask because he's a tough kid. He's a gritty kid. He's got a better arm than people realize. And he has really proven that so far. You've got, obviously, Felipe Franks is still involved. He had an awful scrimmage the other day, and hopefully he will get better. Jake Allen is a kid that they've got, but he really hasn't done much because he's so young. Emory Jones is the dual threat, who probably is the quarterback of the future that Mullen really likes, and being able to be more of a dual threat. Frankly, I think they've got the skill position players to be able to come in and play well. A name to remember is Van Jefferson, who has transferred from Ole Miss, but as you know, the wheels grind slowly at the NCAA, and he has not been cleared yet. As a matter of fact, Shea Patterson hadn't been cleared yet either, and he's up in Michigan and waiting for that. Hopefully that will happen, but Van Jefferson caught like 87 passes in 2 years at Ole Miss, and the guys we've talked to who cover Florida have said that he's the best receiver on the field. So now they had a Grimes kid that transferred from Ohio State, but I think he'll probably end up having to sit out a year before he plays. But, I mean, they've still got Tyree Cleveland and the Hammond kid and some guys like that. I think they're going to use the tight ends more. But there is probably more excitement right now that we see in this state.
I also have some observers tell me that Van Jefferson is the best-looking wide receiver in a Florida uniform that they've seen since Antonio Callaway.
Yes.
A few years ago, who caught some big passes, in particular against Tennessee, of course.